How are we doing today? So my name is Riyad Khalil. As my friend here said, I am leading the operations for Adjust in the Middle East, Turkey, and Africa. Thank you all for coming. I'm excited to walk you through a journey that we've titled The Science of Success. We're mainly going to be focusing on how we help marketers driving growth through smart predictions, incrementality, and scalable strategies. Today, these aren't just buzzwords. These are forming the pillars of how modern marketers are driving scale. So just to maybe walk you through our roadmap for today, first thing, we're going to be discussing some of the macro-level challenges that modern marketers are facing today. We're also going to introduce a real-life case study on how we are reframing how we think about measurement. Then we're going to talk about the predictive analytics and how is that helping us with decision-making early on. We're going to also talk about incrementality a little bit, and we will finish with how we blend all of these approaches for the best decision and fastest decision-making. So yes, first of all, I want to discuss maybe the current challenges that modern marketers are facing today. So we noticed that since the last maybe couple of years, the cost of user acquisitions have doubled. And budgets are under a lot of scrutiny, and marketers today are facing a lot of pressure to prove ROI in real term. On top of that, you have the new regulations in terms of privacy, like SCAN and Privacy Sandbox, that are changing the way that marketers can access and use data. On top of that, you also have the competition. Loads of new apps are being introduced day to day, and marketers are finding it hard to find new channels to scale and to find new users as well. So we need to reframe and rethink how we think about growth and how we think about proving ROI. So let's take a real-life example here, and this actually happened. For example, one of our customers allocated a huge budget on certain network. They noticed that it drove 500 installs, and the ROAS was out of this world. It was great. But when we looked deeper, it was really too good to be true. So we've plugged in incrementality analysis, and we realized that this network specifically was cannibalizing a lot of the organic users, which means these users would have come anyway, and the customer was paying premium for these users. When we factored in MMM, the recommendation was to stop funding this network and to reshift the budget to other campaigns that might bring better ROI. The result was an increased ROI with the same budget. So this is what we can do with predictive analytics, and it's changing the game today. It is allowing marketers to make decisions early on, especially in a world where SCAN is limiting how we access the data and delaying that as well. Predictions allows the marketers to understand early signs, early signals from the campaign rather than waiting days. So which gives them the capability to optimize their campaigns faster and hit ROAS targets a lot faster. And then we have ways also to plug in these predictive analytics into the current SCAN cohorts. And the typical and old-fashioned way that we were doing it, of course, is traditional SCAN is limited and it's delayed. But today, we're using machine learning models to read early signals and plug those into the current conversion values that we have with SCAN, which gives the marketers the ability to not just understand the SCAN results based on who's clicking, but also who is likely to convert as well. And then comes the incrementality. Incrementality is becoming today the gold standard on how we do midterm optimization. So why is incrementality important? Because it's answering the question, what if? And this is a big question. We were able to answer it before. But today we have the ability to say, what if I didn't run this campaign? What if I changed my campaign from 4 weeks campaign to 2 weeks campaign? All of these answers today are very quietly possible, right? And this is a real-life example of what incrementality can do. one of the customers ran an in-app purchase campaign for 4 weeks. And we've noticed an uplift of 10% on in-app purchases across these 4 weeks. So how did incrementality help us here? We wanted to validate that these numbers are true, and they're just not, right, just numbers on. How can we validate that? With incrementality, we plug it into the system, and we realize that with 95% confidence, that we have between 8% and 12% uplift, which means that the campaign drove real results. With these kind of numbers, our customers can scale effectively, can spend more money on this campaign, and can hit ROAS a lot faster. And then comes MMM, which fills the gap where the attribution cannot fill. MMM basically gives a strategic overview of where customers should spend and understands the correlation between how channels help each other out. And it also factors in external factors, such as offline marketing, non-clickable campaigns as well. And also macro factors like holiday season, competitor launches, and combines that with attribution. MMM on its own is not a complete tool, because it lacks that granularity what attribution gives you. So attribution is really great when it comes to day-to-day optimization on campaign or creative level, but then MMM gives you that overall insight and strategic drive as well to understand how these correlate together. So sometimes we can understand with MMM that increasing the budget on YouTube can probably indirectly improve the performance on TikTok as well. So this is what a modern tech stack today looks like. You have the attribution for short-term tactical optimization on day-to-day. You have incrementality for mid-term and that confidence to validate that the campaigns are running well and they're performing the way they should. And then you have long-term and strategic optimization with MMM to see how your entire marketing machine is performing all together. And this is what we call today the science, and this is the new modern tech stack that every marketer should think about. Basically, to close, we understand today that privacy regulations are here to stay. It doesn't mean that we lose insight. It doesn't mean that we stop caring about what kind of data we're looking at. It means that we need to evolve with it. We need to think about new strategies and new frameworks of how we measure today's success. And with the tactics that we've discussed today, marketers can ensure that they are building a growth as they should, with confidence, with also keeping in mind the overall strategy that the whole marketing is running on. So hopefully that gave you guys a good idea, maybe some tactics into how to think about modern marketing and kind of navigating your way through the new privacy regulations. Thank you very much for listening.